everyone fails. A test, a race, a mission. Most people think bouncing back is about talent or toughness, but psychology shows something different.
Our question is, why do some people recover quickly from setbacks while others spiral? And what is happening in the mind when things go wrong?
I was really excited to work on this topic with my group because last year during our soccer season, we lost a player, a really strong player, and so everyone doubted us and we let that affect us. We kind of doubted ourselves and thought that we couldn't make it as far. But then we realized that our fixed mindset would not help us get anywhere, and we couldn't grow if we didn't believe in ourselves that we could grow. So I think that the seniors and the juniors stepped up and helped work with our coach to turn around the entire team's mindset to get to the state championship and eventually win the state championship.
If mindset shapes how we respond to adversity, then it matters everywhere. School, sports, careers, mental health, and even life or death jobs. Understanding this is not just academic, it changes how we approach every challenge. Some psychologists argue that growth mindset effects are minimal or only applicable to certain environments, but newer research we have found across 5 different studies show that mindset predicts behavior across all different environments: academic tasks, athletics, and high-pressure performance situations. It's common to think success is ability, failure is lack of talent, resilience is a personal trait, but researchers suggest failure responses are trained, not born.
To understand how mindset shapes recovery from failure, we spoke with 2 people who lived it in completely different worlds. One is a former Navy SEAL who endured one of the most mentally demanding training programs in the world, where failure is built into every day and quitting is always an option. The other is a student athlete who faced an injury, an unexpected setback that forced her to rebuild not just her body, but her confidence, identity, and future in her sport. One faced extreme physical and mental pressure by choice. The other one had failure forced upon her. Both had to decide the same thing. Would this setback stop them or change them?
What separated the people who made it through training from those who didn't? Was it ability or mindset?
It was mindset. I saw it the first day. I had a roommate who was super rigid but super physically fit, and he was an Ironman, Mr. Indiana, and everything had to be serious with them. And my other roommates, we played music, we really joked around, when we could. We tried to have fun as much as we could. Others took it real serious, didn't want to mess around, so they actually requested a room change and they moved rooms. And then a couple weeks later, in Hell Week, they were the first ones to quit.
In what ways did the environment of training, being cold, wet, sleep deprived, and constantly stressed, amplify the importance of mindset?
Working hard, we use humor and a positive mental attitude and talk, and that helps uplift you when times are getting tough. And it's very uplifting when you're really hurting and you're in pain and you're cold and wet and sandy and somebody's joking. It just helps you. The guys that quit, they quit in the first couple of weeks of Hell Week. They were strong physically, but their mindset made every setback stress them out enough to quit, and maybe they were thinking too far ahead.
At the beginning of training, where did you stand compared to everyone else physically, and how did that change over time?
The difference wasn't ability, because I was one of the slowest guys in the beginning, and it took me a while to make the mid-pack, and then I became 20th or 25th in the class. It wasn't ability at all. It was mindset that let me adapt, reset, and push through the hard moments.
Instead of trying to prove other people wrong, what was the internal mindset that kept you going when you knew most people would quit, proving that self-driven growth was greater than external validation?
Everybody says it's hard, and obviously so many people quit, and the odds are that I would quit too. I really didn't think of to prove anybody wrong, but I wanted to prove to myself that I could do this. And that's what I focused on.
When everything feels impossible, what mindset shift would you advise to allow you to stop overthinking and keep pushing forward?
And your mindset changes to, you can work hard and get everything completed, or try to make the impossible timelines, but sometimes you won't. Understand that we just have to adjust. I didn't even think about quitting or anything after that. I didn't think about how tired I was. I didn't think about anything. I just did everything to the best of my ability and got through it.
Hi, I'm Zeta, and last year during cross country, I had trouble with an injury that I didn't know where it was coming from or what was causing it. And I think that when it got to the point where I couldn't run and I couldn't keep training, it was frustrating for short-term sake, obviously for cross-country season, but it was also, I was worried about down the line, like if it was going to be a serious injury that would keep coming back and then I couldn't run, down the line. So in the moment, I was obviously frustrated and a little worried.
When you first got injured, did you see it more as a permanent stop or a temporary challenge? And how did that initial interpretation affect how you responded in the weeks that followed?
I definitely saw it as a temporary challenge, and I think that in the weeks that followed that, it was just a lot of testing and seeing how I felt, and it definitely kept me motivated, and I didn't let it discourage me.
How did your mindset shift from when you first got injured to where you are now as someone who just competed in cross-country states and just ran a marathon?
I think it's definitely shifted a lot. Before my marathon, the morning of, I was really super nervous because I was worried about what could happen, how I could be feeling, and what that meant for the future. I think after looking back on that, what I should have been worried about was how I felt in that moment and taking it step by step rather than 3 miles down the road, how I'm going to feel then. So it's definitely helped me when it comes to facing bigger challenges, breaking it down into something smaller and more manageable and not getting ahead of myself.
Psychologists say that neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to rewire after setbacks, plays a huge role in recovery. Once you were able to train again after your injury, what helped you rebuild confidence, either physically or mentally?
I think what helped me a lot was just keeping my positivity, keeping my mindset, and knowing that I will get better and that I can do all the stuff that I wanted to do before I got injured. And what helped the most was actually achieving that. So PRing after having a hard time and finishing my marathon. That definitely gave me the confidence boost that I needed because I didn't know whether I could or not. So that definitely helped a lot.
How did your coaches, teammates, or even the culture of your sport influence the way you handled your injury and comeback?
So I think that with cross country, it's not just about physical fitness. It's a big part of the sport to have a really strong mindset. And my coaches, Coach B and Coach Jefferson, one time they said to us before a race, they're like, we know that you are fit enough, we know that you're ready for this. You just have to have a mindset that's stronger than your physical ability, and that's how you're gonna do well. So I think that really got into my head, and that's how I was able to be successful and to PR and to move forward after that setback.
What advice would you give to another athlete going through an injury or major setback who feels like everything is falling apart?
I think just really try to maintain your positive attitude. Like, it is what you make of it. So you're gonna go through hard things, you're gonna do hard things, but if you have in your mind that you can do it and that you can achieve it, if you have that trust in yourself, then you will. And if you're stuck on something bad, or you're stuck in a bad place, and you think that you can't get out, then it's gonna be a lot harder actually to do that. So I think just staying positive, keeping that good mindset, and then you'll find success.
Psychological research shows that mindset is the means to recovery. Whether it's an impossible test question, a lost game, or a Navy SEAL drill, what you believe about your ability to grow determines how you act when the world pushes back.
Across studies, we saw 3 patterns. 1, people with a growth mindset learn more after failure. Their brain stays in problem-solving mode instead of shutting down. 2, they handle stress more effectively, interpreting challenges as information instead of threats. 3, they stay motivated under pressure, whether in academics, sports, or extreme environments.
Because of neuroplasticity, the brain changes and strengthens when you push through mistakes. A growth mindset makes that more likely. When people believe they can improve, they can stay engaged after failure instead of shutting down. In contrast, a fixed mindset blocks this process because the person stops trying. Together, growth mindset and research and neuroplasticity explain why mindset predicts how well someone recovers from setbacks.
Since mindset shapes recovery, then growth-oriented thinking, treating failure as means to improve instead of defeat, should be intentionally taught in schools, athletics, and everyday life, so people can learn to adapt, persist, and rebuild after setbacks.
From our research, we have come to the conclusion that
Mindset determines how effectively individuals recover from failure across diverse environments because it drives motivation, stress responses, and willingness to confront mistakes.
Thank you so much for listening.